Good morning. Happy Saturday, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Are y'all awake? Is everybody awake? Is anybody awake? All right, one person's awake. Ayla's awake. 4 people are awake. All right, awesome. Good morning, good morning. Hey, before we get started, if y'all do not have a pen and paper, you need to get it right now. Because if you're not writing this stuff down, you might as well just get off the call. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, it's 10 o'clock on the dot, so I am beginning. All right, good morning, y'all. Happy Saturday. I am Ashley Strong. I am a National Vice President with Arbonne International. That feels freaking amazing to say. And today I'm going to be just sharing some of my time management tips with y'all. So probably one of the main things that I get asked in this business is, how do you fit it in? How do you fit it all in, right? For those of you that don't know me or that I've never met, I am active duty Air Force. I work anywhere. On a light week, it's a solid 40 hours a week, but on an average week, it's anywhere from 60 plus. Sometimes that includes weekends. Sometimes that includes nights, evenings. It just totally depends on what our mission is and what Uncle Sam has planned for us. So I do still work a full-time job. I don't know if am I the only MVP in this success line that works a full-time job? Those lucky scoundrels. Anyway, so people always ask, right? How do you fit it all in? How do you make all of this stuff work? On top of my active duty Air Force, I am married. I have a husband. I have a dog that is extremely high maintenance, Butter. He's laying right here, so if y'all see my face change up, it's probably because he passed gas. I also am very active in my church. I am a tutor. I am a mentor. I run a professional development organization. I am taking classes. I teach in the gym. So there's just a million directions that we're pulled, and I'm sure a lot of you on here can totally resonate with that, because y'all are busy people as well. Most people on this call are still working a full-time job. So I'm going to give y'all kind of some tips today of how I slice and dice my day, some habits that I've picked up that have kind of helped me along the way, and then just some good old gee whiz stuff. So, Jen Lepping says, good morning, Butter. Butter. There he is. All right, everybody wanted the cameo by Butter. All right, now y'all can focus. All right, so there are quite a few things that either I've adapted over time throughout the military, or I started once I started this business. And so I'm going to put the disclaimer out, as I always do. I'm a pretty straight shooter, so I always say if it made you feel some kind of way, it was probably something that you needed to hear and you just haven't heard it before. Also, this is not for the faint. Like, some of these habits are not for the faint. So just know that as well. And I say this with love, but I can give y'all all of these tips in the world, and there's probably half of the people on here that are actually going to apply them. It's just the way that it is. You're going to have to continuously strengthen your discipline to be able to do this. I don't get every single day perfect, but I try to get as close as possible. So, all right, Sarah says, give it to me straight, and she's my boss, so I'm going to give it to y'all straight. All right, number 1 is successful people with time management focus on minutes, the minutes. They don't say things like, this is what I'm going to do today. They break it down to tangible minutes. Y'all, there are 1,440 minutes in every single day. If y'all ever came to visit me at work, you would see a giant sign on my door that says 1440. And I keep it on my door for 2 reasons. One is to remind me there are only 1,440 minutes in every single day. So what am I doing at that exact point? And is it meaningful? Is it meaningful work? Not just busy work. Is it meaningful work? Am I making a dent in my goal, my dream, my vision, my progress, my task? Whatever it is what I'm doing right this second making a dent in that? That's one of the reasons I keep the sign. The second reason I keep the sign is because when people come to my office, they say, hey, Sergeant Strong, what does 1440 mean? And I say, I'm so glad that you asked. We have 1,440 minutes in every single day, and that's my reminder for me to use them wisely and for you to use my 1440 wisely as well. 90% of the time, y'all, whatever they came to my office to talk to me about, they're like, you know what? Really wasn't that important. It's something I can find out myself. It's something I could ask long before it gets to you, yada, 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 right? So time is the only thing, y'all, time is the only thing that we cannot buy back. We cannot get more of. We can't like spend it somewhere and earn more later. It's not, invest it here and then double it later. Time is not like that. But I will tell you that time is the great equalizer. Every single person on this call has 1,440 minutes in every single day. It doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, smart, dumb, tall, short, introvert, extrovert, shy, outgoing. It does not matter if you're a brand new consultant or if you're an executive national vice president. You still have the same 1,440 minutes in every single day. It is the great equalizer. Every single morning, when our day starts, we all start with an even playing field. Absolutely even playing field. So keep that in mind. Let me tell you all of the things that you can do in 1 minute. People that say, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. Y'all, that's an insult to me when someone tells me that they don't have time, because I say you do have time. You don't know how to manage your time. 1440, okay, all the things that you can do in 1 minute. You can do 30 sit-ups, you can write a thank you note, you can eat a green apple, you can send a text message, you can make a decision, you can apologize, you can take a selfie using a product, you can introduce yourself to a stranger, you can write a goal in a journal, you can drink a glass of water, you can write 3 things that you're grateful for, you can give someone on your team feedback, you can make a positive social media post, you can meditate, and you can pray. And if you did every single one of those, you would only spend 15 minutes in that day. How about that, y'all? There's some time management. All right, so that was number 1, 1440 minutes in a day. Number 2, they have proper priorities, y'all. Let me tell you, just because you want something or just because it's fun or just because you like it does not mean that that should be a priority. Just because someone else that you see in this business that's successful is doing it does not mean that that needs to be your priority, okay? Every single morning when you wake up, you need to think of what your MIT is. That's your most important task. Every single morning, what is your most important task of today? And now some of y'all have seen my high five video where I talk about every day I do something for God, for my husband, for my airmen, for my business, and for myself. Each one of those 5 has an MIT. What's my most important task for God? What's my most important task for my husband? What's my most important task for my business, for my airmen, and for myself? Your most important task should be your non-negotiable. Like non-negotiable. It does not matter, y'all. You don't do other things until you get your MIT done. So you got to think on your MIT, what is an activity that I can do right now, today, in my 1440 minutes today, that's going to get me closer to my goal or is going to make my goal much more attainable, right? Your goal needs to be a SMART goal. Some of y'all have heard this before, but specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So you don't just say, my goal's to be a national vice president. Duh, that's everybody's goal in this business, right? When are you going to be a national vice president? How are you going to do it? And by what time are you going to be a national vice president? And is what you're saying realistic? If you right now are a team of 1, it's not realistic to say I'm going to be a national vice president by July of 2018. That's next month. It's not going to happen. However, if you say my goal, instead of saying like, my goal is to go area, right? break it down. Say, my goal is to add 3 new independent consultants by 30 June. I'm going to hold 6 events this month. I'm going to go into area qual by 30 June, and then I'm going to finish my promotion in July by duplicating exactly what I did and teaching the people that I added to duplicate. That is a smart goal. If you just say, I want to be an area, that's a dream. That's not a goal. That's like a hope. And y'all have heard many times, hope is not a business plan. That's just like, oh, this would be cool. Like, I hope one day that I have a Lamborghini and a Ferrari, but you know, if I don't have the plan to get there, then it's just something cute to put over on my vision board, right? All right, so your MIT, your most important task. So you're going to identify that at night before you go to bed, and all of this is going to come full circle at the end. Your first 2 hours in the morning are when your brain is at its highest cognitive function. That is when your brain is the absolute clearest. It's when your thinking is at its highest. Most of y'all, y'all give me some hearts and likes if I'm right. Most of y'all spend those first 2 hours in the morning on social media. Am I right? Yeah. Most of us immediately wake up, we check our phone, we're laying in the bed, and we'll hold our pee because we just need to make sure that, you know, let me see what potential clients sent me a Facebook message, yada, 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 right? And you scroll and you scroll and you check those, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh, this, I need to do this. And then you're like, well, let me check my notifications, and you go to your Facebook and you've got like 70 notifications, and you know, 65 of them are just likes. And then you go down that rabbit hole, and next thing you know, you're out of your mind, right? And you're down this rabbit hole, and then you've seen an ad for a cute dress, and then you're like, oh, I can wear this next year at GTC, right? That's exactly what you're doing. Yeah, Jasmine, that's what I'm doing now watching you. Some of y'all are multitasking. You're watching me on this, and you're scrolling your Facebook right now. That's a foul, y'all. It's just a foul. You are not giving due justice to what's in front of you. And when you're multitasking, not one thing gets your full attention, okay? So your first 2 hours in the morning are when your brain's at its highest cognitive function. That is the time when you need to spend accomplishing your MIT. That is when you need to do it. This is why Cecilia Stoll talks about the 5 a.m. club. Y'all, like, do you think that Bill Gates and Steve Jobs sleep in? If you read any bio of a millionaire, a Fortune 500 CEO, any successful athlete, celebrity, whatever, they are early risers. It is the theme. They are early risers. They get up and they get their day started. All right, so that was your number 2. Number 3. How many people use a to-do list? I don't know. Can y'all give likes and comments on this? Can y'all give hearts and likes? Maybe there's just a delay. Anyways, I would bet that most of you guys use a to-do list. You think of something that you need to do, and you write it down on like a cute little piece of paper, and you probably put little stickers beside it. Some of y'all like draw the little squares so you can check it off. But let me ask you, how many of y'all do this? How many of y'all go out and do something, and then you write it on your to-do list just so you can cross it off? How many of y'all have done that? Okay, all right. Some of y'all are admitting that you're busted. Okay. This is number 3. I challenge y'all to stop using a to-do list. I know you're freaking out right now. Stop using a to-do list and start using a calendar instead. Listen to me. This is one of the biggest game changers that I have implemented that has made a huge, huge difference. Because let me ask you this. All of you guys that use a to-do list, how many of you have something on your to-do list that's been on there for 3 days or more? A week or more? A month or more? 6 months or more? I guarantee you there's some people on this call with things on their to-do list that have been on there for 6 months or more. Okay? So that is number 1 right there. Why to-do lists do not work. I doubt very seriously that Beyonce or Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or Oprah, I doubt that they have to-do lists. I doubt very seriously that they're like walking around like, oh God, oh, let me add that to my to-do list. I need to do that. Oh, just did that interview. Let me write that down so I can cross it off because it makes me feel so much better to do that. No, no, no. How many, you think of all of the items that are on your to-do list right now that have been on there for a long, long time. To-do lists make you focus on the urgent and not the important. Just because something is urgent does not mean that it is important. And a lot of times we cannot differentiate those. But what I challenge you guys to start doing is using a calendar instead of a to-do list and schedule a block of time every single time. Do your most important items early, first thing in the morning. And I know some of y'all said you feel so groggy first thing in the morning. Remember, this is a habit. This is something new. It's something that you obviously have not been trying, right? You haven't been doing it. So once you start getting into that routine and you have a morning habit, which I'm going to get to that, it's going to get easier, okay? Do your most important items early. Reserve your power hour. You have to have a power hour, whether that's first thing in the morning, preferably, or sometime throughout the day, if it's on your lunch break, if you stay up later after your entire family goes to bed, whatever that looks like, you have to have your power hour. And then make appointments with yourself, y'all. If your kids had a doctor's appointment, you would put it on your calendar and you would move everything around to get your kid to that doctor's appointment, because you know if you don't show, then it might be 3 or 4 months before your kid can get back into that doctor's appointment, right? And that's important to you. If you have an appointment to get your hair or your nails done, you are going to show. Why don't you keep those same appointments with yourself? I need to go to the gym every day. I need to do self-development every day. I need to have a power hour every day. I need to have 1 hour quality time with my husband every day to strengthen our marriage. Why don't you schedule those for yourself and keep those appointments with you the same way you would keep those appointments with anybody else? Don't cancel on yourself and don't reschedule on yourself unless you absolutely have to, and you don't justify, well, I could move that, or well, I guess I don't have to do personal development today. No, don't cancel on yourself. Hold it like an appointment with you. Treat your time block entries as an appointment, and time block do nothing times as well. Y'all, I have specific times on my calendar. So my calendar day starts at 4:30 and it ends at 10:30. And throughout them, I will have 10, 15-minute things, blocks on my calendar that says, go for a walk, or lock your office door and sit in silence for 10 minutes. Meditate, or do nothing. Let your brain just rest without thinking, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I got to do this. You guys have to learn how to turn that stuff off. And not only are those breaks important for you, but they're necessary. They're necessary. You cannot run on 1,000 and expect to be able to keep that pace. Trust me, I've had burnout too many times. I'm speaking from experience. You cannot continue to do that. So to-do list cannot be your primary time management tool. You need to prioritize and time block your day using a calendar, okay? So that was number 3. Number 4, procrastination cure. So I know all of y'all on here were at GTC or either heard the virtual training. So you guys heard Mel Robbins talk about procrastination. So I'm not going to go forever on that, but just know procrastination does not mean laziness. Procrastination is what you do because either you lack motivation or you don't understand the impact of what it is that you need to do. That is typically why we procrastinate. We're not motivated to do it, meaning like we don't really have a connection with whatever it is that we need to do, or something right in front of us is more fun or more easy. And so we want to do that instead, and we'll put the harder thing off. But that's exactly what procrastination is. It's the habit of putting off important tasks to do the easier, simpler, more fun things that are right in front of you. But the less you procrastinate, the more productive that you're going to be. And here's the thing, we don't understand the abilities of our future self. We give our future self way too much credit. Let me tell y'all, your future self cannot be trusted, okay? If you find yourself in the habit all the time of saying, I'm going to do that one day, I'm going to do that sometime this week. I'm going to do that before summer. I'm going to do this before Christmas. I'm going to do this before the end of the year. Think of all of those things that you said you would do last year, and here we are into June. We're halfway through the year. How many of those have you gotten done? Probably not as many as you said. The point is your future self cannot be trusted. Your future self is the enemy of your best self, and your best self is your current self. Okay, so I want y'all to stop saying I'm gonna do that one day, and either say I'm never gonna do it, because you should feel a sting when you say that, I'm never gonna do it, or put it on your calendar and schedule it and hold it to an appointment. So a lot of times we wait and wait and wait on the tough task. We procrastinate on those because they're tough, because they're hard. But the thing is those tough tasks that we procrastinate and wait on the most are usually the ones that grow our business and grow our teams and grow our belief and grow our development more than any at all. So I want you to start thinking about either say never, just say I'm never going to do it and feel the sting of that, or put it on your calendar and really, really internalize what is the pain? What is the cost? What is the effect? What is the impact if I don't do this? And if it's all low and there's no impact and no effect, then do you even need to do it? Maybe not. But if you can answer yes to some of those, you need to do it. You need to get in front of it. This is a tip that I've used to help with my procrastination. I will tell someone that I know will hold me accountable, usually my husband. And if y'all have ever met Ro, y'all know that he is a no BS kind of person. I will tell him that I'm going to do something. Here's the thing. If I just say it in my head, if I just say, oh, you know what? This weekend, I'm gonna probably do an event, or I'm gonna tag team with one of my girls and do a virtual, or I'm gonna do a Facebook Live. If I just tell me that I'm gonna do it, I have no problem letting myself down. Why do we do that? I'll let myself down before I'll let another person down. But if I tell every one of you on here, I am going to do this, then I expect that y'all are gonna hold me accountable, and I would feel horrible if I didn't do it, if I told y'all that I would do it. So tell someone in your closed circle, in your friends, your family, whatever that looks like for you, tell them that you're gonna do something, and then tell them to hold you to it. Another thing that you can do to help with procrastination is bribe yourself. Most of y'all on here have kids and you bribe your kids all the time. Why wouldn't you bribe yourself? Say, if I do this that you say that you're gonna do, then I can get this, right? And maybe that's a facial. Maybe it's a new pair of shoes. Maybe, it's unplugging from your phone in the world for an hour. Whatever it is that reward looks like for you, do that. And then another thing is act as if. Act as if. Y'all, when I started this business, I said, what is the first thing that I need to do? And Sarah Handy, my sponsor, said, you need to find 20 people to jump into the Clean Eating Challenge with you so that you can promote the district. I said, okay, I did it. I promoted a district in 9 or 10 days. I don't know, something crazy. As soon as I became a district manager, y'all, I acted as if I was an MVP. I knew that that was my goal and that's what I wanted to do. So I acted as if I was already an MVP. Some of y'all have heard me say, when people ask you what you do, you should say, I am the CEO of my own health and wellness business. Act as if you are already the CEO. Y'all, CEOs are not lazy. They don't procrastinate. They don't walk around with to-do lists. They schedule stuff on their calendar and they hold themselves accountable to it. They show up to their meetings and they understand that there's 40 minutes in a day and they use them all wisely. Act as if. Sitting on the couch is going to feel better. It feels physically better than getting out and doing things that are tough, that are uncomfortable, that grow you, that challenge you. But sitting on the couch is not where you're going to bloom and flourish and develop and take your business to the next level. Okay, number 5 is leave at 5 without the guilt. So this is specifically for people that still work a full-time job, or people that do Arbonne full-time with set hours, okay? So some people that that are working their Arbonne business and they do Arbonne full time, maybe they will have set office hours like 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever that looks like. So leave at 5 without the guilt. 5 is a general statement. Y'all, your hours might be different, but here's the thing. There's always going to be more to do, and there's always going to be more that can be done. You have to learn how to shut it off without the guilt, okay? So don't be down in the weeds, be up above the trees all the time. Don't be down in the weeds, be up above the trees. That's something that I like to tell my airmen when they're going through challenging times. Do you need to be everything for everyone? And I'm specifically speaking to my women on here because we have a superwoman complex. We need to be the best wife. We need to be the best mom. We need to be the best, team mom or PTA, whatever. Like, we are pulled and stretched in so many directions, and society tells us we have to be perfect at all of those things. Y'all, you don't, and you can't, and you won't. Like, let me just say that. You don't, you can't, and you won't. You will not be everything to everybody, and you have to be okay with that. Women have a disease to please. My mama used to say that all the time. Women have a disease to please. We want to please other people, and we do that at the expense of ourselves. That is very, very dangerous, because what you're doing is you're placing your self-worth in other people's opinion of you, and that's fatal, you guys. Like, you just absolutely cannot do that. It's one thing to outpour love. It's another to be pressured by perfectionism, okay? You're never too busy to make time for the things that you love. It's simply a matter of prioritizing. You cannot do it all, so do all that you can. How about that? Like, you have to know whatever time it is that you have to shut it down, you have to shut it down. All right, number 6 is write it down. So at the beginning, I told you guys to get pen and paper and write it down, and if you weren't, you should just get off of the call. Here's the thing. If you have a thought but you don't write it down, by the next morning, it could be gone forever. It's just gone. Like, you just, oh man, I had such a great idea. How many of us lay in bed? I know most of my guys on here can fall asleep like that. We all are jealous of y'all for that. But most of my women on here lay in bed and you think and you decompress and you go through all of the things that happened that day. How can you be better at this? Did you drop the ball on this? Oh, by the way, you need to do this, right? You go through all of those thoughts, but then you might have this amazing idea because your brain is finally resting, but you don't write it down. And then the next day you remember it, but you can't remember exactly what it was. And so you're like, oh, well, I lost that one, right? We do that all the time. Always, always, always carry a notebook. Y'all, I have notebooks galore. And like, do you see? They're written in. I have papers, journals, thoughts. Like, I just have stuff all over the place. And I will take time to compile those, usually like once a week. And that's usually my weekends. Always carry a notebook. And when you hear something interesting, or you have a creative thought, or you have a gee whiz moment, write that down. The pen is mightier than the keyboard. A lot of people take notes on the keyboard. You guys, your brain does not work to stop and take it in the way that it does when you actually put ink to a piece of paper. Writing stuff down also helps you to keep your mind free so that you can be a creative thinker, so that you can be a strategic thinker, so that you can be a critical thinker, and you can have all of these wonderful ideas about how to make your life better, how to make your business better, your relationships better. Getting all of that stuff out of your head helps to clear it, so write it down. All right, number 7, email and social media. This is my favorite. Okay, so statistics say that we spend an average of 2.6 hours every single day just checking and sending emails. This is just emails, not social media, just emails. So I'm gonna give y'all some tips on how to control your email, whether this is your Gmail, your whatever, I don't care. These are some tips to control your email, because that is the great life sucker. We see the ding and we think we have to check it right then. All right, here's a couple of things to help you with your email. Unsubscribe from companies that send you junk mail, Unsubscribe from people that send you coupons that you're like, oh, maybe one day I'm going to use that. Y'all, if this is not a place that you shop at like weekly, you need to let it go. And why can I not say subscribe? Unsubscribe from temptations. Okay, so for me, Victoria's Secret was my temptation. Every time I would get one of those emails, y'all know Victoria's Secret's got a 1,000 hour a day sale going on somehow, some way. They've always got something on sale and you get a free gift somehow, some way. Unsubscribe from those temptations, because what I would find is when I'd open it, I'd go, ooh, they got the 5 for $26. And then I'd go on there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You got the 5 for $26. You go on there, and then next thing you know, you've spent 45 minutes looking at their site. You've already started Christmas shopping for 2 years from now for somebody that's going to be 18 at that point. Like, you guys stop, okay? Just unsubscribe from the temptations. Like, yeah, we've all been there, Sharon. That's what I'm talking about. We do that. Or we get like, you know, here's the meal delivery service or something like that, right? And so you look and you're like, oh, this would fit with my clean eating. Oh, I wonder how this works. The next thing you know, you've customized an entire month's menu and you don't even know if you're going to buy it yet or not. That is a time sucker. You guys have to get rid of those temptations in front of you so that you stop doing it. Another thing, turn off your email notifications. Just turn them off. Turn off your email notifications altogether. When we hear that ding, our brain is wired to go and check it. Our brain is wired to find out what that ding was. We get a high on it. There's a study that talks about like our neuroscience and how we get sparked when we get a message or we get a notification. It gives us that millisecond of happiness because it makes us feel worthy. It makes us feel like someone wants to talk to us. But there's so much power behind that ding that we get sucked into so much, and we have to control it, not let it control us. So turn off your email notifications. This is number 3 with your managing your email, and this is kind of with social media as well. I'll tie Facebook messages into this also. All right, there is an email tactic that I use that's called 321. 321. Check your email 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening, whatever that looks like for you, 3 times a day. And set a timer to only check for 21 minutes each. 21 minutes. 3 times a day, 21 minutes each. That's 3, 2, 1. And your goal every time is to get to 0. And I'm going to tell y'all how to do that. All right, you're going to set your timer. Literally set a timer on your phone. Get one of the wind-up timers, whatever it looks like. I don't care how ghetto fabulous it is. Just set a timer for 21 minutes, and then you start. You do not get tempted by opening and reading and getting into the rabbit hole of, you know, what sale Victoria's Secret has on. You're going to try, your goal at every 21-minute mark that you do this is to get to 0. Can you delegate it? Can you defer it? Can you delete it, or can you do it? Okay, so if you can delegate it, if this is something like with your job that you can give to someone else, you delegate it, you do that. Defer it means you're gonna put it on your calendar. This means it's gonna take you more than a few minutes to just knock it out right then. So you put it onto your calendar, you time block it, and you hold that as an appointment. Delete it if it has nothing at all that's bringing you any kind of value in life. Then delete it, okay? And then the other one is do it. If this is something like, oh, I just need to forward this to someone else, or I just need to make a quick reply, yes, that's fine, then do it. Don't say, oh, I'll come back to that, I'll come back to that, because you won't, and then you'll forget, and then, you know, life's a hot mess. So your 4Ds. So email tips, 3, 21, get to 0 using the 4Ds. I've got all kinds of acronyms. All right, and then keep your emails short. Y'all, nobody wants to open an email and see a freaking book. Like, those are the kinds that you close and you say, I'll read it later. You don't want to be closed on. You don't want people to close your emails. So if you're sending emails, especially if they're to prospects or clients or whatever, keep it short. This is for social media as well. Keep it short. Think of these as a text message. You don't want to open your phone screen and have paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, okay? Keep it short. Email is the number one way that other people's priorities will become your priority. So you definitely have to get a hold of your email, because what we do is we usually end up waking up, we check our Facebook messages, and then we start letting everybody else's priorities and answering those become our morning. And the next thing you know, you're running around, you're rushing like crazy, you're trying to get out of the door, and you're like, where did my morning go? I got up early, what happened? That's what happened. Other people's priorities started to control you. All right, what are we on? Number 8? Number 8 is training and meetings. And ironically, we're sitting here having a training while I'm talking about training and meetings. But one thing that you need to ask yourself before you do any training, maybe you're doing training and stuff for your team, or before you're having meetings and stuff like that with your team, you need to ask yourself, is this meeting or training actually needed? And if so, why? And if you do not have a rock solid answer on why, then you're probably just emotionally attached to the training or the meeting, and it's not actually necessary. Most meetings, y'all, start late, which creates an environment for people to come late. If you're going to have a meeting or you're going to have a training, you need to start when you say that you're going to start. You absolutely have to set that standard of being on time. That is a huge time waster, is waiting on people. Mark Cuban, who is one of the sharks, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Shark Tank, but I love their books. Mark Cuban says never take a meeting unless someone's writing a check. And I absolutely love that, because even though someone might not be writing a check, I do ask myself before I have any type of meetings, one-on-ones, trainings, whatever it is, does this add value to my business, my belief, or my bank account? And if it doesn't, then I'm not making time for it. It's not a priority on my calendar. Have an agenda. An effective training or an effective meeting always starts with an agenda. And always remember, work is going to expand to whatever time you allow it. Think of it this way. For any of y'all that have ever taken a college class, so today's June 9th, say that I'm your professor and I give you a 5-page essay and it's due on July 15th. Are y'all going to start it today? Nope. You're going to wait until the very last minute. And then you're going to be up on July 14th at 10 o'clock at night going, oh my God, I've got a 5-page paper. And you're going to be keyboard thugging, like setting that sucker on fire, because you're going to be typing so fast. Work will fill to the space that you allot it. So going back to that calendar and using those time blocks, most trainings or meetings or one-on-ones or activity that you put on your calendar, most could be in a 10-minute block. It's just you buckling down for those 10 minutes and getting it done and not letting everything else sidetrack you. Okay, number 9, say no. This is my favorite. Say no. One word that will instantly free up space in your life, on your calendar, is to say no. Remember, we have 1,440 minutes in every single day. You got to get used to saying no to things. Even a 30-minute call or chat is sacrificing 30 minutes from something else. Exactly, Sarah. No is a complete sentence. And there is power in that, y'all. And I've realized the more that I say no to things, the less that I'm asked to do things that are a waste of my time. So there's some power. Brenda Lynn, that was exactly my next note. Every yes is a no to something else. Everything that you're saying yes to is a no to something else. And some of y'all saw my Facebook post the other day. You don't have to be busy to say no. Sometimes you can just say no to not be busy. We glorify busy and we make it sexy, like, oh, I'm just so busy. How often do you say that when people go, hey girl, how are you? How have you been? Girl, just busy. It's not cute. Like, we glorify and we glamorize that, but it's not cute. You have to be able to say no to things that are not going to make you be running around like a crazy lady, and you have to be able to say it without guilt. Here's a tip, y'all. When someone asks you to do something, if it's not like, hell yeah, then it needs to be a no. Like, flat out. It probably needs to be a no. Because you need to work on the things that are going to build your belief, your business, and your bank account, period. Like, that needs to be your focus when you are going to grow in this business. Here are some For people that have a hard time saying no, that are just like, no, thank you. For people that doesn't come that close, that easy for, then here's some ideas, okay? Here's some get out of jail free cards. You can say, I'm on a deadline right now and I'm not taking on any new activities until it's done. Maybe we can chat later. That is an easy one to get out of. Or you can say, oh my gosh, I would be so happy to connect with you, but there's actually no free time on my calendar until whatever that date is, right? This is one that I absolutely love, and I use this a lot for other teams in Arbonne that ask me, oh, can you do a training call for my team, or my people want to hear from you, or whatever. This is a great one to say. Say, oh my gosh, I would be so happy to do that. My next available time is 3 o'clock in the morning next Saturday. Does that work for you? No, 3 a.m. on a Saturday is probably not going to work for most people. But how bad do they want it, right? If someone really wants your time, what are they willing to sacrifice to get it? If the people are your friend and people love you, they're going to understand that there's going to be times that you have to say no, and they're not going to be mad at you about that when your goals and your vision and your priority is clear. So keep that in mind. Whatever you're saying yes to, ask yourself, give yourself the power to have some conviction and say, is this building my belief, my business, or my bank account? And if not, do I really need to do it? If it's not a hell yeah, then it needs to be a no. All right. Number 10, the 80-20 rule. So some of y'all have heard the Pareto principle, and this is basically what it is. This is very significant in your business activity as well. So the Pareto principle is, 80% production comes from 20% of workers, right? You can use that in your business as well. So 80% of the tasks that you do are probably not adding to your belief, your bank account, or your business. Is probably not doing that. So find those 20%, the 20% of things that you are doing that is adding to those, and maximize those efforts, y'all. Maximize those 20%. Make that 20% your absolute number one priority. The 80% is going to be there, right? Like going through traffic, dropping kids off, running errands, getting groceries, stuff like that are things in life that we kind of have to do, but those are not the things that's adding to my business, my bank account, or my belief, okay? Number 11, what can you delegate and what can you outsource? This is a huge game changer, y'all. Instead of asking yourself, how can I do this? Ask, how can this be done? Because going back to the superwoman mentality, a lot of times we think we have to be the ones to do it all, but we really don't. And honestly, sometimes there's just people that are better at it than we are, and we can delegate that or we can outsource that. So think of the things, what can you drop? What can you delegate? Or what can you redesign so that it's easier, right? The reality is that we feel very important when we're busy, but you have to ask how vital is this task? And am I the only one that can do it? And is this the best process? Is this really the best way? Is this the most efficient way to spend my time? Is this the best way to maximize my time and my energy and my efforts? I don't do anything, y'all, that somebody else could do. And I don't do it if it's not the best use of my time. I've got laundry piled up in my laundry room right now. I have dirty dishes in my sink. I've got Butter's hair on the living room that's needed to be vacuumed for about 4 days, and my husband's been out of town, so I'm sure he would have loved if I would have had that done. But he knows that I am working 2 full-time jobs, basically, and he knows that I have goals and visions and dreams, and we have communicated that. So cleaning this house or doing that work is not a huge priority for me, and it's something that I can delegate, and it's something that I can outsource, or it can just wait. It doesn't have to be done right now. So keep that in mind as well. Number 12, don't touch things until you're ready. And what I mean by this is, so the way that you check your email is probably the way that you do a lot of things. And this is not, to make anybody feel guilty. It's just the reality. I used to do it too. I would open up my email, especially at work. I would open up my email and I would say, click on all of them so I could read them. And then I would be like, okay, so I need to do this today. And then I would start over again and like go to the bottom and like check this email. Okay, I'm going to wait. That one doesn't need to like be done right now. So I'll kind of read over that. Oh my God, this one's going to be hard. This one's going to take a lot to do. This is going to take a lot of effort. I'll probably just procrastinate on that one and I'll close that one. Oh, this one just needs a little reply. Boop, I'll do that one. And then you just kind of keep doing that and you juggle it. And then you leave at the end of the day and you feel like you have been busy as you could possibly be, but you did not get diddly squat done. Don't touch it until you're ready. So do not open that email until you are ready to do whatever action it requires. Don't start a task like your laundry or your dishes until you're ready to complete it. Don't start making your grocery list until you're ready to go to the grocery store, okay? So don't touch things until you're ready. Touch it once and do it immediately. If it takes 5 minutes or less, do it. Do it right then. Like, just do it. Get it done. Get that off of your calendar. Get it off of your, taskers, whatever it is. And if it's going to take more than 5 minutes, then schedule it. Put it on your calendar. Yeah, you have that 21 minutes, exactly. Number 13 is your morning routine. So a lot of y'all were saying, oh, I'm so groggy in the morning, or I feel so out of it in the morning. This is what you're going to start doing to change that. Your morning routine. This is number 13. Okay. Top performers in any business start their day with a vision and a dream, and then they make it happen. Your morning routine, if you change your morning routine, y'all, you can change your life. You can absolutely change your entire life by changing your morning routine. There's a reason that the #1 income earner in Arbonne and our upline, Cecilia Stoll, talks about be a proud member of the 5 a.m. club. For me, it's 4 a.m. For you, it might be 6 a.m. And whatever it looks like, regardless, you need to get up. You have to wake up. Stop hitting snooze. You have to stop hitting snooze. Like, if I could grab all of y'all and shake y'all with love, I would totally do it. But what if you could have 1 hour of me time, 1 hour power hour every single morning? The domino effect that would have on your day would be monumental, y'all. I promise you, it would be a freaking game changer. Things that you can do every morning to start your day: have an attitude of gratitude, exercise, determine what your most important task is, have a breakfast with protein. We have like the magic cure for that, no excuse. Drink a lot of water every single day. Visualize what it is that you want out of life. You only have a limited amount of willpower every single day. So if you're not using it wisely, your day's gonna be in a spiral, and you can start that with the morning. If you guys are working a full-time job, sometimes you have no control over what that day looks like, but you have absolute control over what happens before you go, and you have absolute control of what happens after you get home. Exercise in the morning is so extremely important. You need to get up, you need to get the blood pumping, you need to get your brain awake and alert, and you need to get ready for your day. I don't care if you do 20 squats in your kitchen, you need to do something every single morning to get your blood flowing. And instead of focusing on doing more to achieve more, focus on becoming more to achieve more with doing less. Right? Do y'all need me to say that again? Instead of focusing on doing more to achieve more, think about becoming more to achieve more with doing less. Grow yourself, grow your potential. Start your morning routine a very specific way, and it's going to have a domino effect on your entire day. I have a little acronym that I call Lifesaver. And so for life, so like I just have for life written on the top, and then I have savor written down. The S is for silence. Silence every morning. Attitude of gratitude. That might be prayer. That might be meditation. Whatever that looks like for you. Silence. Affirmations. That's me saying I'm worthy. I can do this. I can. I will. I must. Vision is my V. So seeing what I want. Visualizing those dreams and those goals becoming a reality. E is exercise. Get moving, get your butt in gear. R is reading, some sort of self-development, personal growth. It might be an audible, it might be a motivational video, whatever it might be. And then S is scheduling my day. That's my life savers. Silence, affirmations, vision, exercise, reading, and scheduling. That's my life savers. If you make your morning routine look something like that within those balls and you do it day after day after day, you're going to see a difference in your day. I promise you. Okay, very last tip, number 14. All of these tips that I've given you guys are time management tips. But if you don't manage your energy, you're not going to be able to manage your time. So tip number 14 is manage your energy as well. And what that means is eating the right foods, exercising, drinking a lot of water, having self-talk, having prayer, having healthy relationships, not stressing over stuff that you have no control over, controlling the things that you have control over. So these are different little things, like that's where your energy starts, right? Is with health. You guys, we have the #1 healthy living inside and out business in the globe, on the globe, yeah, on the globe. There's no reason that we cannot all be the absolute healthiest, best versions of ourselves. Manage your energy, which means managing your health, and then you can manage your time, manage your life, manage your business, manage every relationship that you have, manage your growth, manage your development. It just goes on and on and on and on. All of these are just little challenges, y'all. All of this will start as a small challenge. Maybe you can't, do all 13 in the morning, but maybe you can do 2. Maybe you can do 3. Don't wait until you can feel like you do all 13 to start implementing it. Implement what you can and start to make that a habit. It's going to start as a challenge. You continue to reinforce it daily. It will become a habit. After it becomes a habit, it will eventually become your routine, and then it will just be the norm. The way that you run around like a crazy person right now, and you're like, what am I getting done? I'm forgetting this, blah, 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 blah. How many mind health can I have a day? Like, that is your norm now. That can change, and you can really start to master your day. One quote that I absolutely love is, the common man is not concerned about the passage of time, but the man of talent is driven by it. And I love that. The common man is not concerned about the passage of time. They let the days go by. And then the days become months, and the months become years. And the next thing you know, you're like, I've been in this business for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20 years, whatever it looks like. And I thought I would be somewhere different. I thought I would be at another level. I thought my team would look different. I thought my income would look different. I thought my belief would look different. It's because that time has just passed. And instead of you managing it, it's managed you. Today's the day that we are going to start taking control of our day. If you had a total free day scheduled for today, that's great. Sometimes you need it. But if your business and your bank account and your belief is not where you want it to be, you need to do something today. You need to hustle. You need to get busy. You need to put something on your calendar. Whoever invited you to this business, or whoever you asked about this business, believes in you. They totally believe that you can do it, because you guys know we can choose who we want in Arbonne, and you better believe there's been people that I have said no to. I don't think that this is the best for you, and honestly, I don't want to be around you like that. I don't want you on my team, or I don't think that this is going to be the best. Every time that you lack dedication, and you let procrastination get the best of you, and you let doubt and disbelief get the best of you, you're insulting the person that invited you to this business, or the person that you asked about this business. Not that it's detrimental, but it's an insult. It is an absolute insult to them, because they believe in you. I believe in you. You guys, I believe in you. If you're in the Schutz success line, you're in the best success line in Arbonne. There's absolutely no way that you can fail in this business except to quit. I believe in you. Do you believe in you? And are you going to start mastering your day? Ask yourself, what habit can I create today? What habit or habits can I create today that I'm going to reinforce tomorrow, so that this is the best month ever, so that I tackle my goals this year, so that my future is limitless? Ask yourself that. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me on this Saturday morning. I'm 54 minutes in. I wanted to be under an hour, so I'm 6 minutes shy. I'm glad, good. I hope some of y'all have a gut check. I hope some of y'all feel a little bit uncomfortable about this. I hope some of y'all are a little bit defensive going, oh my gosh, you know, I can't believe she said that. I hope you feel that way. I hope you do, because uncomfortableness is growth. And when something checks your gut and when your feet are held to the fire, you know that there's more potential in you. Otherwise, you'd be numb to it. You wouldn't feel anything. If you're doing all of this stuff perfectly, nothing I said today resonated with you, and good on you, because you've got it figured out and you're doing it perfectly. But if anything I said today gave you a little made you a little uncomfortable, good. That means that you have room for growth. You have room for development. You have room to take your business to the next level. So get after it. Happy Saturday. I love y'all so much. Go do something amazing today. Habits today for success tomorrow. Reinforcement tomorrow for best month ever, for best year ever. Get after it. Bye, guys.